Hi guys, it is one of y'all's favorite videos that I do, and it is a book haul of all of these books and the books that are in this box. So if you would like to hear it and you see what I bought, here you go. But before we get to that, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We are growing our family. We are almost to 1,000, and by almost we need like 380 more people. So share and make sure you subscribe. You keep coming back, you keep searching for my videos, but you ain't subscribed yet. Why you ain't subscribed yet? What you waiting for? What you waiting for? But let's get into the thing that I need to go to a AA meeting for. Well, it wouldn't be AA, it would be a BA meeting, Books Anonymous. Okay, so let's start with the book of the month. I'm not sure how much longer I'm gonna have their book subscription, so we're not even gonna go into who they are, what they are. You could Google it if you would like to. First, we have Yinka. Where's your husband? Where's your husband, huh? Because, girl, what is you doing? And I've heard good things about this book. So, Yinka's Nigerian aunties frequently pray for her delivery from singledom. Her work friends think she's too traditional. She's saving herself for marriage. Her girlfriends think she needs to get over her ex already. And the men in her life, well, that's a whole other story. But Yinka herself has always believed that true love will find her when the time is right. I've heard good things about this book, and I have been wanting it for a while. I had some points, so I just got it from Book of the Month. Next, which is very funny because I didn't realize I had 2 books in this particular box. I didn't realize that. But it's called Tell Me Everything by Erica Krause. It is the story of a private investigation, and y'all know I like me some true crime. So it says Erica Krause has one of those faces. I don't know why I'm telling you this. People say spilling confessions. Me too, girl. And it really, me and my homegirls do not like it. Because people just be telling me all of their business, and I be like, why are you telling me that? What am I supposed to do? But anyway, in fall 2002, Erica accepts a new contract job investigating lawsuits as a private investigator. The role seems perfect for her, but she quickly realizes she has no idea what she's doing. Then a lawyer named Grayson assigns her to investigate a sexual assault, a college student who was attacked by football players and recruits at a party a year earlier. Erica knows she should turn the assignment down. Her own history with sexual violence makes it all too personal, but she takes the job anyway. Inspired by Grayson's conviction that he could help change things forever, and maybe she could too. Over the next 5 years, Erica learns everything she can about private investigator technique, tracking down witnesses, and investigating a culture of sexual assault and harassment ingrained in the university's football program. But as the investigation grows into a national scandal and historic civil rights case, Erica finds herself increasingly consumed. When the case and her life both implode at the same time, Erica must figure out how to help win the case without losing herself. Why is there not a picture of her in here? Sounds like it's gonna be good. I like true crime stuff, and I didn't realize that was nonfiction. And I think I said earlier this year that I would like to read more nonfiction. So there's that. Next, we have some of these books, because I don't know when I'm posting this. So either you have seen some of these already in my April TBR, or you're going to see some of them in my April TBR. Don't be shocked or appalled. So next we have The Ecstatic by Victor LaValle. I think I've shared with you guys how much I love Victor LaValle. I read The Changeling not last year, the year before, and it was phenomenal. Last year I read a short story that he did with the Amazon, where they released a set of short stories that were all sci-fi, but they were also all by Black authors. And he was one of them, and his story was phenomenal. If I remember, I will put on the screen what those were called if you guys want to look them up. But the Ecstatic is about, it says, Anthony James weighs 315 pounds, is possibly schizophrenic, and has just been kicked out of college. He's rescued by his mother, sister, and grandmother, but they may not be altogether sane themselves. Living in the basement of their home in Queens, New York, Anthony is armed with nothing but wicked sarcasm and a few well-cut suits. He intends to make horror movies, but takes the jobs he can handle, cleaning homes and factories, and keeps crossing paths with a Japanese political prisoner, a mysterious loan shark named Ishkabibble, and packs of feral dogs. When his invincible 13-year-old sister enters yet another beauty pageant, this one for virgins, the combustible Jameses pile into their car and head south for the competition. Will Anthony's family stick together or explode? With electrifying prose, Laval ushers us into 4 troubled but funny lives. I think it's going to be interesting. The cover is kind of creepy, but I mean, when was the last time a creepy cover didn't give you a good book? Think about it. So these next 2 books, let me get them together because they go together. They go together. So we have here The Conductors and the Undertakers by Natalie, that is not her name, by Nicole Glover. When I tell you I have wanted to read these books for so long, for so very long, I've wanted to read them. Like, for a very, very, very long time. Like, since I heard about them, I wanted to read them. And I think in the beginning, the reason that I didn't, like, run after them is because I thought that they were YA books. And I just don't have a good track record with YA books, but I try. So which one is first? Is the Undertakers first, or is... Yeah, I think the Conductors is first. So Hetty Rhodes and her husband, Benji, were conductors on the Underground Railroad, ferrying dozens of slaves to freedom with daring, cunning, and magic that draws its powers from the constellations. With the war over, these skills find a new purpose as Hetty and Benji solve mysteries and murders that white authorities would otherwise ignore. In the heart of Philadelphia's 7th Ward, everyone knows that when there's a strange death or magical curses are causing trouble, Hetty and Benji are the only ones who can solve the case. But when an old friend is murdered, their investigation stirs up a wasp's nest of intrigue, lies, and long-buried secrets, and a mystery unlike anything they've handled before. With a clever, cold-blooded killer on the prowl, Hetty and Benji, testing their magic and placing their lives at risk, will discover how little they really know about their neighbors and themselves. So that one's the Conductors. The Undertaker says, for Hetty and Benji Rhodes, no case involving strange magic or mysterious circumstances is too difficult. But the death of Raymond Duval, a victim of one of the many magic-resistant fires that have erupted recently in Philadelphia, is too easily solved. Hetty and Benji's investigation points directly to a powerful fire company known to let homes in the Black community burn to the ground, particularly when they're connected to the growing magic rights movement. As Raymond was a vocal advocate of teaching celestial magic in schools, the answer seems obvious, and Hetty and Benji put the case aside until Raymond's son is found dead too. Suspicious of the timing and certain that the deaths of the father and the son are connected, Hetty and Benji renew their investigation. Their search leads them to a network of forgotten tunnels beneath the city where long-buried secrets come to light and dredge up dangerous ghosts that are not easily banished, even with the strongest of spells. They sound super good. So yeah, the Conductors is first, and then it's the Undertakers. I wish they put the numbers on the side of books because it just helps. But I think this might be one of those series where you don't necessarily have to read them in order. I don't know. Because it says the anticipated follow-up to the Conductors, so not the anticipated sequel. And I think the series or the collection is called A Murder and Magic, or Murder and Magic, I think, because on the Undertaker's book it says A Murder and Magic novel. So I don't know, but I've really been looking forward to reading these, and I mean, seriously, Black woman on the cover, I was going to buy it anyway. Like, get your lives, okay? So that's that. Next, I talked about this one in the video that I did about authors that you may or may not have heard of. This is the Dust Bowl Orphans by Suzette D. Harrison, where there are two little girls who are orphans, and they gotta find their way and figure things out. If you want to know more about this book, you can watch that video, because I talk about the whole thing there. So yeah, and I think I mentioned in that book that I had bought it, I just didn't know where it is. So here it is, I have it. Next, so these next three books that we are going to talk about, I purchased at a bookstore in Montclair called, I don't remember what the bookstore is called, but I will put it on the screen when I'm editing. Shelby from the future, when I edit this, will put that on the screen. But I went there, and they are a used and new bookstore, so you can get used books, you can get new books. I did a little mini vlog about it on the Instagram page, so if you're not following me on Instagram, you should, at Shelby in the Bookstore. And yeah, so I got these three books from there, and they were just books that caught my eye. So the first one is called All That She Carried. This is by Tia Miles, and it says the journey of Ashley Sack and a Black family keepsake. So it says, in 1850s South Carolina, an enslaved woman named Rose faced a crisis, the imminent sale of her daughter Ashley. Thinking quickly, she packed a cotton bag for her with a few items, and soon after, the 9-year-old girl was separated from her mother and sold. Decades later, Ashley's granddaughter Ruth embroidered this family history on the sack in spare, haunting language. Historian Tia Miles carefully traces these women's faint presence in archival records, and where archives fall short, she turns to objects, art, and environment to write a singular history of the experience of slavery and the uncertain freedom afterward in the United States. All That She Carried is a poignant story of resilience and love passed down against steep odds. It honors the creativity and resourcefulness of people who preserve family ties when official systems refuse to do so. And it serves as a visionary illustration of how to reconstruct and recount their stories today. It was just something about the book that was really cool to me. Again, I made the comment somewhere that I want to read more nonfiction, and this we can add to the list. Next, I have Dinner at the Center of Earth by Nathan Englander. I was going to say Englander. Anyway. So it says, in Negev Desert, a nameless prisoner languishes in a secret cell, his only companion the guard who has watched over him for a dozen years. Meanwhile, the prisoner's arch enemies, the general, Israel's most controversial leader, lies dying in a hospital bed. From Israel, in Gaza to Paris, Italy, and America, Englander provides a kaleidoscope view of the prisoner's unlikely journey to his cell. Dinner at the Center of the Earth is a tour de France, a powerful, wryly funny, intensely suspenseful portrait of a nation riven by insoluble conflict and the man who improbably lands at the center of it all. sounded interesting. It's an author that I've never heard of. Oh, I found what the name of the, I probably already put it on the screen, but I found what the name of the bookstore is. It's the Montclair Book Center. But yeah, it's an author that I've never heard of. The book cover was intriguing to me. So yeah, I grabbed it. And there's a blurb here from Colson Whitehead. It says, superb, a work of psychological precision and moral force with an immediacy that captures both timeless human truth and the perplexities of the present day. Sounds good. I like Colson Whitehead. And then last but certainly not least, I have The Saffron Kitchen by Yasmin Crowther. It says, can y'all see the book? There you go. So it says, rich and haunting, The Saffron Kitchen paints a stirring portrait of a family shaken by events from decades ago and worlds away. On a rainy day in London, the dark secrets and troubled past of Mariam Mazar surface violently, with tragic consequences for her daughter Sarah and her newly orphaned nephew Saeed. Consumed with guilt, Mariam leaves her English husband and family and returns to the remote Iranian village where her story began in a quest to piece their life back together. Sarah follows her mother and finally learns the terrible price Mariam once had to pay for her freedom and of the love she left behind. Set against the breathtaking beauty of London and Iran, this stunning family drama is a novel of tremendous hope. You know, I think being in a used bookstore really makes you realize all of the books that you just don't know exist. Like, you no idea that they exist. You just have no idea. You have none. You just don't know. You just don't know. You just don't know that they exist until you walk into a used bookstore, or you go into the library, or you watch my videos and you see, like, wow, there is a world of things out there that you just would never know about if you just don't know. And it seems that this book came out in 2006. It sounds like it's going to be really good, and there isn't a book that I've read that has taken place in Iran or in the Middle East somewhere that I did not enjoy. So I'm looking forward to reading that. Now, this next one, if I don't like this one, I'm calling the people down to the Bookstagram, to the Instagram people, and I'm gonna be like, y'all lie, you lie like a rug. Do y'all have to do all of that outside right now while I'm recording? My God, today, just making all of this fuss in the outside. But anyway, we have Cleopatra and Frankenstein by Coco Mellers. Yes, I bought this book because of the title, and because I was, now if that's not a synchronicity, I ain't never heard of this man ever in my life. I ain't never heard of Nathan Englander. What's the chances that I recently bought his book and then I recently buy a book that he wrote a blurb for? I guess I'm aligned. But yeah, I bought it because of the Cleopatra and Frankenstein are two completely different people. So they, as opposite could get. So what's happening here? Okay, on top of the fact that everybody and their mama down to the Instagram has read it and loves it. So it says, 24-year-old British painter Cleo has escaped from England to New York and is still finding her place in the sleepless city when, a few months before her student visa ends, she meets Frank. 20 years older and a self-made success, Frank's life is full of all the excesses Cleo's lacks. He offers her the chance to be happy, the freedom to paint, and the opportunity to apply for a green card, but their impulsive marriage irreversibly changes both of their lives, the lives of those close to them, in ways they never could have predicted. Each compulsively readable chapter explores the lives of Cleo, Frank, and an unforgettable cast of their closest friends and family as they grow up and grow older. Whether it's Cleo's best friend struggling to embrace his genderqueerness in the wake of Cleo's marriage, or Frank's financially dependent sister arranging sugar daddy dates to support her after being cut off, or Cleo and Frank themselves as they discover the trials of marriage and mental illness. Each character is as absorbing and painfully relatable as the last. As hilarious as it is heartbreaking, entertaining as it is deeply moving, Cleopatra and Frankenstein marks the entry of a brilliant and bold new talent. It sounds so interesting and so intriguing. So I just had to get it. And the cover is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I wonder if I saw that I could get the other copy of it too. I don't know why the UK gets the better, sometimes, not all the time. Let me correct myself. I don't know why UK gets the better book covers. Excuse me. Even though this one is completely beautiful, I like the one from the UK too. So, that's that. Now, these next two books I got a while ago. I feel like I remember talking about them. But I don't think I talked about them on here. I think I talked about them over down to the Instagram. Shameless plug. Go follow the Instagram page. What are you doing? So everyone who is a reader has read this book except for me. And it is The Darkest Child by Dolores Phillips. How old is this book? Because I feel like this book came out before I was even a thought. I think. 2004? Okay, so not before I was a thought, but it's been out for a while. So this one says, Parksville, Georgia, 1958. 13-year-old Tangi Mae Quinn is the sixth of 10 fatherless siblings. She is the darkest skin among them and therefore the ugliest in her mother's estimation. But she's also the brightest. Her mother, Roselle, beautiful, charismatic, and light-skinned, exercises a violent hold over her children. Fearing abandonment, she pulls them from school when they turn 12 and sends them to earn their keep, whether in domestic service or in the fields or at the farmhouse, quote unquote, on the edge of the town, where Roselle begs local men for money. But Tangi Mae has been selected to be a part of the first integrated class at the nearby white high school. She has a chance to change her life, but can she break from Roselle's glass without ruinous, even fatal consequences? Okay, I have to read this. I think I'm gonna put that on next month's TBR too. And then last but certainly not least, now why buy this big ass book? I really just be in the store buying stuff, and y'all don't be there to help. Why don't y'all be there to stop me? I thought we was friends, okay? So I got The Priory of the Orange Tree. Y'all. But this book is big as my head, Jesus. It's big as my head. How many pages is it? $804. I've heard good things about it. I don't think that there's a sequel, which it shouldn't be. But it says, how you pronounce that? The House of Barethnet has ruled Ennis for thousands of years. Still unwed, Queen Sabrin, the ninth must, it's been 9 of them? The ninth must conceive a daughter to protect her realm from destruction. But assassins are getting closer to her door. E. Durin is an outsider at court. Though she has risen to the position of lady-in-waiting, she is loyal to a hidden society of mages. Aid keeps a watchful eye on Sabran, secretly protecting her with forbidden magic. Across the Dark Sea, Tan has trained to be a dragon rider since she was a child, but is forced to make a choice that could see her life unravel. Meanwhile, the divided East and the West refuse to parley, and forces of chaos are rising from their sleep. I've heard decent things about this book. I think I'm also just intrigued at how big this book is. And there's a part of me that is just like, I want to read big books. I want to read big books. So I bought it, and it's probably just going to sit on my bookshelf and stare at me for a long time. So if you have read any of these books, if any of these books are interesting to you, let me know in the comments. I love talking to you guys. I love when I see people leave comments on my videos. It means the absolute world to me. So let me know, comment. And don't forget to like and subscribe as well. We're almost 2,000 subscribers. I cannot wait. I'm super excited about that. It is letting me know that my hard work is paying off. If no one has told you today, I love you. You are kind. You are smart. You are absolutely important. If not to anyone else, you are important to me. And I love you. I will talk to you soon. See you in the next video. Bye, guys.